There's never been a Duran fight without action. I've never seen this guy in a bad fight. Because Esteban chose the only man to have done it.
And let's keep it. Wonder if he's thinking about it. He's not going to perhaps let it happen again.
The heat just starts the action up faster. And the kind of heat that starts it up real fast is the hatred that they feel for each other.
Oh, a great left hook to the chin of Duran. Oh, another one around. Oh, Duran. Leave it. And they're really mixing it here. Right, less than 10 seconds now, and a great first round where De Jesus had put Roberto Duran on the canvas.
Right, one of the two. They really dislike each other, and they're really putting it on.
More shots, Ferdy. But he's still hanging in there and still battling back against this game challenger. Oh, almost put down De Jesus.
These two fighters, as Duran is fighting with a great deal of heat and intensity and hatred, and Esteban De Jesus is fighting cool. So far, he's been able to get him in, but he's like a man trying to fight off an avalanche.
I tell you what, they're lightweights, but
it's on the second round, and they're still up on their feet from the. That's going to tell.
Less than a minute to go. Both fighters. The challenger with his back 15,000.
And this is a grudge fight in every way. You can see, look at the inside, who's able to pinpoint some right hands and left hook.
30 more punches thrown, I think, in these 2 rounds, and we see sometimes in 10 rounds with other fighters. Look at this, not letting up. Total. He had won 30 straight, 25 of those 30 by knockout. And that's what he's trying to do here, as the local hero gets the people once again out of their seats in Panama City. As we said, tremendous heat, Ferdy, and the way these fellows are going at it, these two fighters, these two, the champion and the challenger, who could have champion, you wonder, can they keep this?
Difficult to predict that. It's so difficult to fight so hard with this kind of heat. Only the emotion of the moment, only the emotion of fighting before his hometown crowd is going to fuel Duran to keep on going. What's going to help Esteban De Jesus, I really don't know.
Well, both youngsters, that was
but a tremendous body and head attack by Roberto Duran.
Well, these punches are coming from everywhere. Perhaps one thing that might overcome the heat, 2 years old, and Duran, the champion, just a youngster at 20. They're both youngsters, but one just 2 years younger than the other. Perhaps they'll be able to stand up because of the youthfulness of both of these. And great punches, both fighters scoring here in round 3. This is scheduled for 15, but at this point, Ferdy, it hardly looks like it could go 5.
This action, you notice that De Jesus is trying to land his haymaker, but Roberto, while working up, is also coming down.
That is true. They don't have glass jaws, that's for sure, because they've taken enough good shots to the head that could knock out most fighters.
A remarkable performance for you. Oh, what a tremendous 1-2 by Roberto Duran.
Comes through it all and comes right back counter-punching, going right after the champion, showing no respect for him at all. As we come under...
He's not budging. I don't think he would move from the middle of the ring if they let him. He just wants to stay right there and have more of the same. Oh, look at that action! Look at that action! How can De Jesus stand that? Is content to stay outside now, as if saying, let's just keep up this pace. No one can keep up this pace in 100-degree heat for 15 rounds. Because either man could be a champion in his division without any trouble. They're clearly head and shoulders above anybody else in the division, and they're fighting each other. And they're going to settle it in this ring. And Duran right now is a man that's taking psychological fight, whereas Duran is ready to fight a street fight. There they go, back into their alley fighting routine, trading punches, trading hooks. Duran's a punch, but it's not going to be enough as this fight wears on. You can't trade 3-1 with more.
The Panamanian champion, Roberto Duran.
Very little thought of defense on Duran's part. Duran just wants to punch. What a fighting machine Duran is.
Flare away, and where they land, they land. If they're low, oh, a good left. Well, the action's slowing down just a bit from what it had been, and just as I say that, it wouldn't go the limit. I wonder what the strategy is now that perhaps they're more on top of one another. De Jesus seems to be perhaps limiting his punching power a little bit, getting on top of him more, maybe to work inside like he's doing there.
When you got two fighters like this, when they come back to the corner, you keep it short and simple. You say to them, knock, and that's the only instruction that Roberto understands.
Or don't let him knock you out.
You never say that. Never put that in a fighter's mind. He's never tired, and he's never going to get knocked up.
He's trying to box one another. Because, oh, the good right by De Jesus, grazing the chin of Duran, and he follows it up with a couple of jabs to the face. That time threw both of his hands out at the same time De Jesus did. Yelps coming from the bipartisan fans in Panama City. Although perhaps with the heat, they're getting a little worn out also.
You see what happens to a man when he tries to box with Duran. Duran eventually cuts the distance, gets in with his superior speed, and gets to what he's doing best, fighting inside. That's where he likes to fight. He's a barroom brawler. He's an alley brawler.
Intimidating grin of the champion.
I haven't seen anything that evilly smarmy since the movies. Oh, what a tremendous left hook by Esteban De Jesus. Another left hook by De Jesus as Roberto fights back with both hands.
Wiping some of that grin off the champion's face.
Yeah, I was thinking of Richard Widmark when I said that.
Less than 30 seconds now. Remember, despite the fact that Duran is the champion, this is the man, only man.
Coles as he looks at him, fixes him, anticipates, punches with both hands. Here comes the other hand, and Esteban grabs on for Weary.
He's wary, but he just missed a couple of haymakers.
But Roberto didn't. Every time he missed, oh, Roberto just dropped it.
He's relentless. He does not let up on you. Now let's see if the champion goes in for the kill. He's trying, but here comes the challenger fighting right back.
He's got plenty of time with 30 seconds to put him away.
But can he put him away? That remains to be seen as we count down here. A punch that put De Jesus down.
These are clubbing punches. A punch to the body with the left. A jab, a right hand right behind the ear. He's got a mouse and a cut. He's been doing the punching, and he's the one that got cut.
Okay, the bell for round 8, and off we go here for the lightweight championship of the world in the heat of Panama City.
And it's got to give Esteban some heart to see that little cut under his eye.
One thing about the cut, Bertie, it's not as serious being below the eye as it would be if it was an inch higher.
And another thing, Roberto has not got a history of cuts. He's got one of the finest skin in the world. He doesn't cut. And these little nicks don't develop anything with Roberto.
But what he does is he cuts you. And that's what he's trying to do now. He's trying to not only cut this challenger, he's trying to cut him down and put him away.
But look at the way Esteban keeps his head right into Roberto's face, hoping that anything can happen to open it up. Roberto, look at his stance. Look how wide his legs are. He is trying to get leverage. He's trying.
Well, I think there's no question that perhaps trailing in the early rounds, at least through the first 3, now here in round 8, the champion is coming on and taking control of this fight over a king, but apparently right now outclassed challenger Esteban De Jesus.
He has almost around, gets this much on top of a fighter. He will not stop. He keeps going. He is like a man, as I said, in the cabin, waiting for the avalanche to fall on top of him. He's just fighting
down from a good right hand behind the ear.
Weaker and weaker, and Duran getting stronger and stronger. As Duran senses a kill, his punches have ready to punch hard. In the meantime, in the corner, if you look at the right-hand corner of your screen, you can see all of water in the corner.
He could almost drown.
He might drown if he steps fully into it.
30, tremendous heat. Temperatures approaching 100
to get up. And certainly Roberto was in the middle of the round. He's ready to take care of business. Roberto Duran is ready to finish this anytime. I don't know why they bothered to sell seats to this fight. Everybody's been standing up for the last 4 or 5 rounds.
Well, that fighter is only 20 years old, and you're comparing him with some of the greats of all time, the Robinsons, as you said, the Lewises, and the Ali.
All times for Roberto Duran. He needs to get all 3 minutes
and 10 seconds. And they're counting down now, and round 9 is history in this lightweight championship. A look at the action in round 9, Purdy.
You can see the way that Duran uses both his hands. He's never off balance. He's never in a position where he cannot throw a punch. And that wears you out. You know you won't have a moment's respite in here. He is trying to hold one glove of Duran's, and he's getting killed with the other glove. That's even at long range. Duran seems to land those left hands.
Oh, good uppercut coming by the challenger, and he holds the right hand again. Even in the 3rd and 4th rounds, many thought it wouldn't even go this far. Oh, another little right there thrown by Roberto Duran, the champion, too, and coming at him, and he knocks him down. To the canvas goes the challenger, Esteban De Jesus.
He's down from the right hand. Roberto Duran, he keeps his title. Roberto Duran, the victor in his hometown in Panama. And half of Panama is crawling into the ring with Roberto Duran.